Hello and welcome to the Business English Podcast, the show that helps you power up your language skills to gain an edge in the professional world. I'm your host Rob, your friendly guide on this English learning journey. Today we're tackling a tricky pair of words that have been known to tie even seasoned English speakers in knots: to tell and to say. Sounds simple, doesn't it? You'd be surprised at just how much chaos these two seemingly innocent-looking words can cause in a conversation if not used correctly. Our mission today? Operation Anti-Embarrassment. We're going to master these two words so you can be confident, clear, and compelling in your business communication. But before we dive into the intricacies of to tell and to say, let's talk about why getting these right matters. We all know that in the world of business, clear and effective communication is not just desirable, it's essential. And that includes the smallest details, such as knowing when to tell someone something and when to say something. In the realm of language, tiny missteps can lead to big misunderstandings, and in business, misunderstandings can mean missed opportunities. So, no, we won't let a couple of small verbs stand in the way of your success. We're here to iron out those wrinkles and get your communication in tip-top shape. In this episode, we'll unpack each word, delve into its usage, and examine how these can be used effectively in different business scenarios. And if that sounds a bit intimidating, don't fret. We're going to break it down step by step, giving you handy tips, easy to remember rules, and real-life examples to make things as clear as a sunny day. So, grab your notebook, get comfy, and get ready for an enlightening discussion that will give your business English a power boost. But first, play the music. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Business English Podcast. Helping professionals communicate more effectively, more confidently, and with impact. With your host, Rob, from Energetic English. Let's get down to business. Okay, it's great to have everybody back at their seats and strapped in. Now that we've warmed up, let's plunge into the heart of the matter. To start off, let's get one thing straight. To tell and to say aren't sworn enemies. In fact, they're more like siblings, similar, yet with their own quirks and characteristics. The challenge? Knowing which sibling to invite to your conversation party. And let's face it, inviting the wrong one can make things, well, a bit awkward. It's like mixing up salt and sugar for your coffee. A tiny mistake, yet with some, let's say, not so sweet consequences. So here's a common scene. You're in a business meeting and you want to convey something your colleague mentioned earlier. Do you say, John told that? Or is it, John said that? Wait, is there even a difference? If you're finding yourself playing a mental tug of war with these two words, trust me, you're not alone. The English language can be a bit of a drama queen, full of exceptions, irregularities, and sometimes just plain weirdness. But that is what makes it so interesting, doesn't it? And remember, every misstep is a step towards mastery. Now, let's roll up our sleeves and decode these two infamous words. So, whether you're gearing up for that important business presentation or just looking to polish your everyday professional conversation, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a thrilling ride in the world of business English. And we're back, ready to wrangle our first word of the day, to tell. Now, to tell may seem like a shy, unassuming little word, but don't be fooled. In the world of communication, it's a heavyweight champion. Let's start by setting the record straight. To tell, in its simplest form, means to give information to someone directly. It implies that there is a specific person or audience who is receiving the information. Imagine you're at a press conference and you've got a hot piece of news to share. You're not just going to throw it out there willy-nilly. You will be telling it to your eager reporters with their notepads out and pens poised. But of course, this is business and things aren't always that straightforward. To tell has its own set of rules and, dependent on the business scenario, will act differently, of course. For example, You might tell your team about a change in plans, tell your client about a delay, or tell your boss about a successful deal. In each case, there's a direct receiver of the information. Remember, to tell is all about that one-to-one connection, like a spotlight shining on a stage. It has a specific focus. Now, let's picture a scenario. You're in a team meeting and your manager asks about the status of a project. Would you say, "I said the project is on track," or "I told the team the project is on track"? If you chose the latter, congratulations. But if you're still feeling a little bit shaky, that's okay. The English language is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And with each step, each word, and each phrase, you're getting stronger and going further. So, don't worry if to tell feels like a steep hill right now. We'll conquer it together, one step at a time. And that brings us to the end of this to tell exploration. Next up, we're going to meet its sibling, to say. Okay, now we've just dissected to tell, and now it's time to shift our magnifying glasses on to say. If to tell is the focused spotlight, then to say is more like a wide beam. It illuminates a broader area. To say is all about expressing or voicing out something. The catch here is that it does not necessarily require a direct recipient. It does not require a direct recipient. It's like leaving a voice note in a group chat. Everyone hears it, but it isn't specifically directed at anyone. So think of to say as our friendly neighborhood megaphone. It broadcasts to whoever is in earshot. Here's the trick though. To say can seem a little less personal than to tell, but that's where its strength lies, especially in business situations. Need to recount a statement from a meeting or report a generic fact? To say is your go-to verb. For instance, you might say that the company's revenue has increased, or say that the meeting was productive. Now, let's put on our to say lenses and revisit that team meeting scenario. Your manager asks about the status of the project. This time, you might say the project is on track, because you're making a general statement. See the difference? Now remember, confusion is just a step before clarity, so don't be intimidated. You're in the driver's seat here, and each twist and turn on this language journey is helping you navigate better. So give yourself a pat on the back. You've just mastered another crucial piece of this business English puzzle. But up next, we'll talk about common pitfalls and how to sidestep them like a pro. So, back in just a sec. Now, before jumping into the next section, I wanted to take this opportunity to let you know that if you wanted to get more out of the Business English podcast, then that is possible. For example, full transcripts complete with timestamps so you never miss an expression, phrase-focused one-pagers to quickly refresh your memory before that next last-minute meeting, pronunciation support to assist with the trickier elements of business English, live read-along transcripts, quizzes, and much more. If this sounds like it could be useful, then the Business English Podcast Premium subscription could be for you. Check out the details at the link in the show notes. Right, on with the show. And we're back, and it's time to don our safety gear as we explore some common pitfalls that lie in the paths of to tell and to say. It's a bit like a minefield out there, but with the right knowledge, we can navigate it like seasoned pros. So first off, let's meet a common misstep that I like to call the generalization gaffe. This happens when you use to tell in place of to say for general statements. Remember, to tell prefers a one-on-one conversation. It likes the intimacy of a direct object. To say, on the other hand, is comfortable broadcasting to an entire audience, a real wide and broad audience. So if you're making a general statement, it is to say. You need not to tell. Next, let's introduce the directional blunder. This is when you use to say when the information is specifically directed towards someone. Remember our spotlight analogy? If your information has a specific target, you need to tell it, not say it. You need to tell it, not say it. Now, there are ways to sidestep these pitfalls. One handy trick is to ask yourself, am I directing this information to someone specific, or am I making a general statement? Your answer will help you decide which verb to invite to your conversation. Think of these pitfalls not as stumbling blocks, but as stepping stones on your path to business English mastery. Remember, the road to success is paved with a few missteps along the way, but with each step you're learning and growing. So, with that power-packed pitfall navigation guide, we're going to wrap up this section. Next, we're going to look at a quick recap of what we've learnt and a few key takeaways. Okay, let's do a quick recap of our journey before we bid adieu. Today, we untangled the web of to tell and to say. We discovered that to tell is all about giving information to a specific person. It loves that one-to-one connection. To say, on the other hand, is more of a public speaker, comfortable with general statements and addressing a wider audience. We also navigated some common pitfalls, learning how to avoid the generalization gaffe and the directional blunder. The key takeaway? Keep in mind who your information is for. That'll help you decide whether to tell or to say is the right fit for your sentence. And remember, even though to tell and to say might seem like small pieces in a big puzzle of business English, they are crucial for clear and effective communication. As we say in English, the devil is in the detail, and getting these details right can make the world of difference in your professional interactions. And there we have it. It's time to wrap up another exciting episode of the Business English Podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's journey as much as I did. And more importantly, I hope you feel more confident about using to tell and to say correctly. Remember, learning English is not a destination, it's a journey. And every little bit you learn, every rule you master, every mistake you make and learn from is a step forward on that journey. We're all about making that journey fun and engaging here on the Business English Podcast, so don't forget to practice what you've learned today, and before you know it, to tell and to say will be your trusted allies in your business communication. If you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas for future topics, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always eager to hear from our listeners. You can contact us via social media or drop us an email. I've been Rob, your pathfinder on the road to business English fluency, signing off. And until next time, keep it strictly business. You have been listening to the Business English Podcast. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and we'll see you next time.